Action.
Hi everyone, today we are going to be making a chocolate silk pie with a peculiar ingredient to it. The secret to this silk pie is actually tofu. Tofu is a great substitute that you can add into your pie. It is packed with nutrients and it makes the pie just as indulgent as ever. Tofu is a phytoestrogen and it is specifically a part of the flavonoid family. Tofu is specifically an isoflavone, which has a lot of great health benefits to it. Isoflavones are known for their antioxidant roles, their anti-inflammatory roles, their role as an antimicrobial, and specifically what they're most known for is their role at help preventing cancer. So a little bit how they work. Isoflavones have a structure that is very similar to estrogen, and it binds to the estrogen receptors, which makes it less susceptible to those cancer cells and carcinogenic properties of binding onto it. So it has a really good role. Specifically, isoflavones are known for helping reduce your risk of breast cancer. So research has shown that consuming around 15 to 25 milligrams of isoflavones a day can help decrease your risk of breast cancer by 3 to 15%, which is awesome. In our recipe today, our tofu will end up having around 20 milligrams of soy isoflavones in it, which is right around the recommended amount that we would like to see. So this is a really great way to get your phytoestrogens into your diet. So a little bit about the ingredients that we have here today to make this super easy pie. All you're going to need is a food processor or a blender, whichever you have on hand. The pie crust, I decided to use a graham cracker crust, but you can make a pie crust anyway, the pie crust any way you would like. You can make it with a cookie crumb if you would like, or you can chop up your favorite nut and make it into the pie crust as well. It is a super easy recipe. You just ground up about a cup of your crust of choice and mix it in with either butter or vegan butter, whichever you prefer and however you want to make it. I also decided to bake my pie crust, but you can leave it just the way it is after you mix everything together for more of a loose and crumbly pie crust if that's what you would prefer. We also have our tofu, which is our main ingredient in our pie today. I chose to go with a silken light firm tofu. The silken tofu is really soft and it helps create that silky texture that we would want in our pie, and it is a great substitute for mousses and things like that, so you really get that texture you're desiring. If you didn't have silken tofu on hand, you can use any other firmness. It just might change the texture of the pie a little bit. We're also going to be using cacao powder. So cacao powder is cocoa powder, but it is in its most natural form. What's really awesome about this recipe specifically is that it's also packed with phytonutrients. Cacao is also a phytoestrogen and polyphenol, and it is also part of the flavonoid family. So you're going to be getting a lot of those added benefits, specifically like the ones I mentioned about the soy products. So we're going to be using that. We're also going to be using coconut oil as the binding agent in our pie. We're going to be using some vanilla extract. We'll be using a pinch of salt, agave syrup to sweeten it up a little bit, and I also have dark chocolate chips to put on the top of it once it's all finished. So we're going to get started here. So first you're going to want to start out by adding your tofu into your food processor. You're going to need about 24 ounces of tofu of your choice, whatever kind you prefer to use. And also I just wanted to let you all know that I do not have gloves on me today, but I did wash my hands before the start of our demonstration. It would also help if I have the blade in there. And so this is a vegan recipe that I have, but however, you can make any substitutions that you would like, or if you didn't have something that the recipe called for, it's really easy to make substitutions in that. For example, if you didn't have the cacao powder, you could use regular cocoa powder. So next we're going to take 6 to 8 teaspoons of the cacao powder. I'm going to use 6 in this recipe, but if you wanted a little bit more of that chocolatey rich flavor, you can definitely add more to your liking. Okay, so after the cacao powder, I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of agave. Okay. And then I'm going to add a half a cup of coconut oil. I had already melted it down just so it's easier for it to bind in with everything. We're going to take a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay. We're going to then take a pinch of salt. So I'm just going to pour a little bit in my palm here and sprinkle it around. Okay, and then that is all the ingredients, and you just blend it in the food processor. One thing I did want to mention, this will make it, when it does go in the fridge to cool, it'll make it more of a firmer texture once everything binds. But if you did want it more of like a mousse-like texture and gel-like, you can add a substance called agar-agar to it, which will help create that gelatinous mousse-like texture that you desire. If you didn't have agar-agar, which I don't have, you can leave it plain like this, or if you were okay with not making it vegan, you can also add like a little bit of gelatin in there as well to help set this as well. So I'm just going to turn it on and blend it until everything becomes incorporated and all mixed together nicely. Okay, and now we have our perfectly silky smooth chocolate pie filling. So now you're going to want to just take your pie crust and spoon some in and have it nice and even all around here. Okay, so now that I have spread my pie filling evenly around my crust, I'm gonna put it into the fridge to cool for about 4 to 6 hours. You can leave it in there or upright until you're about to serve it, or for even better results of it being really nice and set, you can leave it in there for up to overnight if you would like. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the fridge. All right, so it's been about 4 to 6 hours. I have let my pie chill, and as you can see, it's definitely nice and firm now, and it's got a really nice smooth finish to it. So it looks really good, but while I was away, I actually went ahead and made some homemade whipped cream for it as well. One of the great things about this, since this is an all vegan pie, you can make fresh coconut whipped cream if you would like. I didn't have any coconut milk on hand, so I went with the traditional heavy whipping cream, but it's just as simple and easy. All you're going to need is about 13 to 14 ounces of coconut milk or coconut cream and about 2 to 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. And then you're just going to want to use either a stand mixer or a hand mixer and just whip it up until it is nice and fluffy. That's exactly what I did with my regular whipped cream. So I'm just going to take now a flat spatula. If you don't have one of these, you can use just a regular spatula or a knife if you'd like, to just spread some of this whipped cream onto the pie to make it extra indulgent and delicious. Or if you didn't want to add whipped cream, you don't have to do that as well. Okay, so now that I've gone ahead and added the whipped cream to it, I did mention I had some dark chocolate chips that I went ahead and crushed up so that they're a little bit like sprinkles, and I'm just gonna sprinkle some on the top and the center, like so, and around. And there you have it, a deliciously phytonutrient, isoflavone rich pie to enjoy and indulge on while also getting all of the added benefits and nutrients to it. Thanks.